In 2008, Elon Musk was sitting in a room alone, crying. Not the quiet, dignified kind of crying, the kind that comes when everything you have built, everything you have sacrificed, and everything you have left is disappearing at the same time. Tesla was weeks away from bankruptcy. SpaceX had just watched its third rocket explode on live television. His marriage was falling apart, and his personal bank account, after investing every single dollar he had into his two companies, was completely empty. He was borrowing money from friends just to pay his rent. This was not some early struggle from his youth. This was 2008. He was already world famous, already celebrated as a genius, already on the covers of magazines. And he was broke, broken, and almost finished. Most people would have walked away. Elon Musk went back to work. This is the untold story of how Elon Musk lost everything twice and still became the richest human being who has ever lived.
Elon Reeve Musk was born on June 28, 1971 in Pretoria, South Africa. From the outside, his childhood looked comfortable. His father, Errol, was a successful engineer and property developer. His mother, May, was a model and dietitian. The family lived well by South African standards, but behind closed doors, home was a battlefield. Errol Musk was a cold, controlling, and at times cruel man. Elon has described his father in interviews as someone capable of pure evil, a man who knew exactly how to make those around him feel worthless. At school, things were no better. Elon was small, awkward, and obsessively bookish in an environment that rewarded neither. He was bullied so severely that a group of boys once threw him down a flight of concrete stairs and beat him unconscious. He spent weeks recovering in hospital. With no safe place at home and no safe place at school, Elon retreated into the only world that never hurt him: books, computers, ideas. By the age of 12, he had taught himself to code and sold his first software, a video game called Blastar, to a computer magazine for $500. It was a small thing, but it told him everything he needed to know about himself. He could build something from nothing, and the world would pay for it. At 17, Elon left South Africa, partly to escape the mandatory military service that would have drafted him into apartheid's army, and partly because he had already decided that his future was somewhere bigger. He made his way to Canada, then to the United States, enrolling at the University of Pennsylvania, where he studied economics and physics. In 1995, he was accepted into a PhD program at Stanford University, one of the most prestigious in the world. He lasted 2 days. The internet was exploding around him, and Elon could not sit in a classroom while the world was being rebuilt outside the window. He dropped out and, with his brother Kimball, launched his first company, Zip2, a web software company that provided online city guides to newspapers. It was not glamorous. They worked out of a tiny office, slept on the floor, and showered at the local YMCA. But in 1999, Compaq acquired Zip2 for $307 million. Elon's personal share was $22 million. He was 27 years old. Rather than buy a mansion and retire, he immediately invested $11 million of it into his next idea, an online payment company that would eventually become PayPal. In 2002, eBay acquired PayPal for $1.5 billion. Elon walked away with $180 million. By any measure, he had already won. But Elon Musk was not interested in winning. He was interested in something far larger.
With $180 million in his pocket, Elon Musk made a decision that his friends, his advisors, and every rational observer around him called insane. He invested almost all of it, simultaneously, into two companies in industries he had never worked in before. $100 million into SpaceX, a rocket company whose stated goal was to colonize Mars. $70 million into Tesla, an electric car company at a time when electric cars were considered a joke. And $30 million into Solar City, a solar energy company. He did not hedge. He did not hold anything back. He did not protect himself. He went all in, on everything, at once. His own financial advisors begged him to stop. His close friend and fellow billionaire Peter Thiel told him directly that both SpaceX and Tesla would almost certainly fail. Elon smiled and kept writing the checks. For the next 6 years, he poured every dollar he earned back into his companies. He worked 100-hour weeks. He micromanaged every technical detail. He drove his engineers to the edge of human endurance. And then, in 2008, everything collapsed at once. The first blow came from SpaceX. On August 3, 2008, the Falcon 1 rocket, SpaceX's third launch attempt, lifted off the pad in the Marshall Islands and exploded in the atmosphere 20 minutes into flight. It was carrying the ashes of astronaut Gordon Cooper, along with 227 other payloads. It was also carrying the last money SpaceX had. There was no funding left for a fourth launch. The company was finished, unless that fourth rocket flew perfectly. At the same moment, Tesla was facing its own collapse. Production problems had pushed the company to the brink. Investors were pulling out. Suppliers were demanding payment. Bankruptcy was days away. And Elon himself had nothing left to give. He had invested so much of his own money that he was borrowing from friends to cover basic living expenses. His marriage to actress Tallulah Riley broke down under the pressure. On Christmas Day 2008, he sat alone and told a friend, "I never thought I was someone who could feel this low." But then, on the very last possible day, two things happened. SpaceX's fourth rocket launched successfully. NASA watched the footage and immediately awarded SpaceX a $1.6 billion contract. And Tesla, hours before it would have filed for bankruptcy, closed an emergency funding round on December 24th, Christmas Eve, with hours to spare.
What followed was one of the most remarkable comebacks in the history of business. Tesla launched the Model S in 2012 to universal acclaim, winning Motor Trend's Car of the Year and proving once and for all that electric cars were not just practical, but desirable. SpaceX became the first private company to dock a spacecraft with the International Space Station, then the first to land and reuse an orbital rocket booster, then the first to launch astronauts into space for NASA. Each achievement was considered impossible before Elon did it. By 2020, Tesla's stock had risen so dramatically that Elon Musk became the richest person on Earth, surpassing Jeff Bezos with a net worth exceeding $300 billion at its peak. The man who had been borrowing money for rent in 2008 was now worth more than the GDP of most countries. And he was not finished. He acquired Twitter, now X. He launched Neuralink to merge human brains with computers. He built the Boring Company to reimagine urban transportation. Whether you admire him or despise him, one thing is impossible to deny. No human being in modern history has made bigger bets or won more of them. Elon Musk once said, "When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor." In 2008, the odds were not in his favor. Every number said give up. Every advisor said walk away. Every rational calculation said it was over. He did not walk away. And that single decision, made at his lowest, most broken, most desperate moment, is the reason you are watching this video on a device powered by technology he helped build, in a world being reshaped by companies he refused to let die. The bullied boy from Pretoria, the dropout, the broke immigrant, the man who lost everything twice, is now the richest human being alive. That is the untold story of Elon Musk. Subscribe to Untold Billionaires, because the people who change the world are never the ones who play it safe. Until next time.